Welcome to episode 42 of the Get Well With Me podcast. I am your host, Adrianne Hart, wellness advocate and hypnotherapist. So naturally, we talk about all things related to the mindset of health, happiness, reclaiming your energy, and feeling good again. And today's topic: are there some people who can't be hypnotized? Is that true? I get that question all the time. And yes, it's true. There are some people that cannot be hypnotized in the context of stage hypnosis. So if you're at an entertainment event, like in Vegas or on television, and you see people at the snap of a finger barking like a dog or clucking like a chicken, in that context, absolutely not. Not everyone can be hypnotized to do that. It's very helpful to remember that the subjects that you see participating in these events are volunteers. They're highly suggestible in the sense that they chose to sit in the front row, maybe even raised their hand and volunteered. And even if they showed a little resistance, deep down there was a part of them that was ready to accept these suggestions, even if that meant forgetting their own name for a little bit. So yes, it's real. Can everyone be hypnotized to do stage hypnosis? No, absolutely not. So don't worry. You're not going to find yourself acting silly on stage somewhere. But let's talk about hypnosis from a marketing standpoint. And you might say, wait, what? Yes, hypnosis from a marketing standpoint. Yes, everyone is hypnotized by marketing. It's around us all the time, and we're largely unaware of it. Verbal suggestion is everywhere, and I'm not just talking billboards and commercials, but everywhere. Verbal suggestion is always influencing us, whether it's just our spouse trying to get us to take out the trash or whatever, or our kids trying to convince us of whatever. That's a verbal suggestion. And depending on our state, we're more suggestible. Now, children have a natural radar for this. When your defenses are down, when you're having I don't give a you know what type of a day, it's the day that your kids say, hey, can I have this? Can I do this? Because they know your defenses are down. I mean, even if they know that you're distracted, let's say that you're on the telephone, suddenly you hear, hey, I need this, I need that. And they're trying to get your attention. And you say, go ahead, sure, have the fruit snacks or take the candy out of the jar because you're busy. So verbal suggestion is everywhere, and there is no one that gets out of this earth without being subjected to verbal suggestion. But let's talk about it from a trance perspective. What are some common times that you would experience kind of float in and out of trance? Now, trance may be a time that your critical factor is suppressed or asleep or just checked out. So trance would be highway hypnosis. You're driving along and you're supposed to be going to the grocery store, but you make a left-hand turn and you start driving to work instead, even though it's not a work day, because you're just automatically doing that. That's trance. Or you've been driving for a while and really thinking deeply about something or reliving a memory, and you go right past the exit that you were supposed to take. Or you're into a very deep phone call, something that has all of your focus. And I know it's scary to think that we're driving in trance so frequently, but now that I've pointed it out to you, you may most definitely begin to notice that you're driving in trance, thinking so deeply, so hard about something else, or engaging so deeply in something else, which I hope is not our cell phones, because there's a cell phone trance, there's a reading trance. Anything that requires your full attention essentially has you in a trance. When you're writing, I know when I'm writing, like I'm so intense, like I'm pressing so hard on the paper and I'm bent over and my, face is in the, in the journal practically. It's like I'm one with the notebook. Now that may not be your thing, but whatever it is, it's when you're with your girlfriends, you're in the girlfriend trance. When you're hanging with the guys, you're in the guy trance. It's like we get into this zone where all of our focus goes into this certain way. When you listen to a story, believe me, we're being told stories all the time. I mean, we tell ourselves stories about what we can do, what we can't do, but let's look at a literal version of this. Somebody's reading us a story. Do you remember as a child, maybe you can share this memory with me, being read to in library? Just remember the book completely coming alive, like a movie that was in my mind. I remember in second grade, our teacher, Mrs. Dull, she read James and the Giant Peach, and she only had time to read like one chapter every other day or something. I felt like every chapter was such a cliffhanger. I couldn't wait to get to the next one. And my imagination just had completely taken over with this idea of this giant peach. So, that's hypnosis. When you tell your kid a bedtime story about a bunny who's getting very sleepy, that's hypnosis. So it's happening all the time. And so, is there anyone that can't be hypnotized? No. That's the opposite of what I said at the beginning of this. But no, there's not. We're not talking about stage hypnosis and entertainment and doing things against our will. We're talking about being influenced by verbal suggestion and giving all of our focus over to one thing. When you combine those two things, that essentially is hypnosis, and it is happening in our day-to-day lives all the time. So if everyone is making verbal suggestions to us to influence us, why are we not doing it for ourselves? I mean, geez, that's self-care. Like, what is it that I'm saying to myself? And should I be saying something different? What am I believing about my health, my wellness, my attitude, my relationships? Are they helpful thoughts, or are they outdated? Are these programs some that could be rewritten? Whoa, what is that question that I just asked? Are the stories that we tell ourselves, can they be rewritten? They can. Will we believe them? Perhaps we'll believe them a lot quicker and faster in a state of trance. So the cool thing about trance is it's just you take a couple deep breaths and you decide you're going to relax. Amazing. The nice thing about self-hypnosis or hypnotic meditation is you're just listening to someone else's voice, and you just allow it to bore you into a state of total relaxation. You don't have to do anything. I love when I don't have to do anything. So, and what are some of the characteristics of trance? It would be inward focus, a distortion of time passing, like 40 minutes could feel like 10 minutes. I know you've experienced that with the highway hypnosis thing. It's just like, boom, you blink and you're there, and it's not that you don't remember, but you kind of don't remember. And it just, where you're really in that flow state and you're getting so much done and it feels so good that you're like, what? It's time to go already? Or what, time's up already? Because you were just so into what you're doing. So the distortion of time passing, a real inward focus, and then just feeling supported, letting my words or the words of an audio to guide your thoughts and feelings. That's it. And it just gets easier the more you do it, the more that you want to do it, the more that you listen, the more you find that you want to listen, because it might be the only time all day that you don't actually have to do anything and you get results. So, without me boring you of the benefits of relaxation, which naturally come from hypnosis and being in a state of trance, which I'm sure you can relate to. Like, think about in the times that you do zone out and that someone does have to wave their hand in front of your face and say, hey, hello, are you there? You're not in a high stress state. You're actually, there's like a calmness about it. And there is this kind of suspension of time, and there is kind of this suspension of disbelief where you know that maybe that memory that has you in trance, like, you know consciously that it's not really happening right there in front of you, or that that person isn't there in front of you, or whatever it may be. But in that moment, remembering a loved one that passed away, or even just intensely focusing on something that you want to do or you're going to say, it seems like disbelief is suspended and time is suspended and stress is suspended, and you're just out there for a minute, and that's natural and that's okay. So we don't have to villainize the idea of trance or hypnosis. I have very strong faith, and I believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So I want to let you know where I'm coming from. I don't dabble in anything dark in any way, but I cannot overlook the great mind that I'm blessed with, that is so powerful, that has the power to let me experience the life that I dream of, and to do away with old bad habits and create new ones, and dwell on thoughts that create positive sensations in my body, and happy things that promote dopamine and other feel good serotonin and other neurotransmitters. This is something we can do intentionally. We can harness the power of our breath, our relaxation, our focus, and our ability to be influenced by verbal suggestion. And I guess when you explain it that way, it just takes all the mystery and all the woo-woo out of it. So if you're looking for magic, then you're looking in the wrong place. But sometimes the most simple things seem and feel like magic. So I encourage you to dig deeper into learning about how you can harness the power of your own mind. When you believe that all the cells in your body are working harmoniously, and that unhealthy cells are not reborn, but healthy cells are reborn with more and more vitality and health. And when you believe that, and it's affecting the very chemistry inside of your body, the results are incredible. Think about your body as just, if your mind was flipped inside out, it's a manifestation really of everything that's going on inside of you. And when you turn your mind towards the life that you want to have, the person who you want to be, not try to be or could be or should be, but just really get clear, on just taking one step in front of the other, and knowing where you're going and what your destination is, and being okay with the journey along the way. This is a process that's so simple. It's solution focused. So as we wrap up, I just want to encourage you to notice those times that you're drifting in and out of trance throughout the day, that light sleep-like state where you're just zoned out. Just notice how natural that is and how normal that is. Also notice all of the verbal suggestions, the ones that are from people within your own household, that are on your phone or the TV, or every which way they're coming from. Just notice that you are being bombarded by verbal suggestions, and that is a form of hypnosis. And that as you notice that, it puts you back in the driver's seat, because that's where you belong. It's your mind. You belong in the driver's seat, and helping you to notice these naturally occurring events all around you is going to help you to be the one that stays in control. So I hope that that was super helpful. If it was, or if you know someone that has the same question, can everyone be hypnotized? Please point them in the direction of this episode 42 of the Get Well With Me podcast. Check out everything over at adriannehart.com. Subscribe everywhere, and I appreciate that so much. Until next time, do like Carole King says, and wake up every morning with a smile on your face, and show the world all the love in your heart. That's what I'm going to do. Till next time.